Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bible study. Hope you're doing well today. Today will be part 5 of our study that we're calling Let's Talk About the World. And today we're going to be talking about overcoming the world through an eternal perspective. And I think this is going to be a very important study for us today. And then at the end, I got a couple of questions for you. So we'll get started. We're going to be first in 1 John 2, verse 15. You can follow along with me here if you would. It says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." This has long been one of my favorite Bible passages because you guys hear me talk about the world all the time. And this is sort of a command, but it commands believers not to love the world or its temporary ego-driven desires, such as the lust of the flesh and lust of the eyes and the pride of life. It's a warning that embracing these worldly systems is incompatible with loving God, as the world is passing away while those who do his will abide forever. And believers are instructed not to love the world, which refers to the godless systems, the values and philosophies of society and political nature, or all the things in it. Loving the world values makes it impossible to have love for the Father. And let's think about these three temptations here that he's talking about. He's talking about lust of the flesh. That's the craving for physical gratification and self-indulgence. And then he's talking about lust of the eyes, the craving to acquire and possess what is seen. That's covetousness. And then the pride of life, the boastful reliance on status, possessions, or personal achievements rather than God. In verse 17, he talks about the contrast. The attractions of the world are temporary and fleeting, but the person who aligns their life with the will of God will live forever. Let me take you to another one of my favorite verses in the Bible. This is going to be 1 John 5, verse 4. And it says, "For everyone born of God overcomes the world. This is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith. Who is it that overcomes the world? Only the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God." And I'll tell you why that this is one of my favorite verses in the Bible, because it teaches us that everyone born into God's family has the power to defeat the anti-God systems of the world. The ultimate victory isn't achieved through human willpower or our strength, but exclusively through unwavering trust in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. The core meaning here is it's about overcoming the world, and we rely on our faith, and the victory is in our faith. Faith is the conduit that connects believers to God's overcoming power. It is not magical force in itself, rather it's confidently relying on the finished work of Jesus on the cross and his resurrection. And that is where our identity comes from. We have the identity as an overcomer. Verse 5, I think, clarifies that only people who truly overcome the world are those who believe that Jesus is the Son of God. And this foundational belief separates a Christian from the world and the world's values and anchors our identity in Christ. And I think that's the most important thing is if you believe totally in Jesus Christ and totally the work on the cross, then you have no use for the world. And, there's been times in my life where I did let media and social media and everything and the world influence me. But at some point, you have to realize that if you are an overcomer and you believe in Jesus Christ, then you can overcome the world. And a matter of fact, Jesus taught us that in John 16:33. So I'll let you study that one on your own. But my reflection questions today are: how does the reminder that Jesus overcome the world, and that's in John 16:33. Change your perspective on the negative influences you face. I look to Jesus, who has already overcome the world. In what ways can you learn more on your faith community can you lean more on your faith community to stand rather than facing these worldly pressures alone? And a lot of times we can't do it on our own. We have to look to others in our faith community, our friends, those that we surround ourselves with every day, that have that good influence, like we talked about in the earlier lessons. Everyone, have a great day. And what I want to do probably tomorrow is I want to wrap this up in a way, not in a Bible study, but I want to wrap it up in a way that where I see the world nowadays and where I see the political influence, where I see, and I don't talk a lot about my political nature, um, but I want to talk about some things. So tune in for part 6, and we'll talk then.